Welcome to the Get Real podcast. I'm Austin, your host, and today we're going to be talking about Anthony Davis. More specifically, Anthony Davis and the possibility of him getting traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. He just signed with Clutch Sports as his agent. He fired his old agent, hired Clutch Sports, same agency that has employed LeBron. So people automatically suspect that, hey, he's going to want to join LBJ and LA. And here's a question I propose to you. And because this is just a rumor, but let's say the rumors are more likely true, that there's some equal interest between Anthony Davis and LA. Do the Celtics try to jump in and trade for him before LA has the chance? Well, if AD wants to go to LA, what's why we bring up the Celtics? Because the Celtics have the potential right now to do something that Golden State did not too long ago. Golden State won 73 games at one season. They lost in the finals, granted, but they won 73 games. More than the MJ Bulls, more than anybody in NBA history. And during the offseason, what did they do? Oh, they added Kevin Durant. They got rid of Harrison Barnes, Andrew Bogut, Maurice Spates, and a few other guys. They got rid of a fair amount of depth and a few starters and said, we're going to, even after what happened, and even though it took a crazy Kyrie 3 to take those finals away from us, even though we just won 73 games, you know what? We're going to go after Kevin Durant anyway and just make that happen. And as you can see, it worked out best for them. And the Celtics are also in that situation. Now, who could they trade for him? I'll tell you this much, and I've covered this in previous videos. They can offer more, vastly more, than what the Lakers have. Let's break down what the Lakers have. Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart. Very solid players. Lonzo Ball, he's still coming along. Had a kind of rookie year. Not bad, not terrible. You can see the potential there. Ingram, he's not really lived up, in my opinion anyway, to being the number 2 overall pick a few years back. He's in his 3rd year now. Even when he had all the shots in his first 2 years and the Lakers were a 20-ish win team, he couldn't make more than 16 points per game. He's not super efficient. He's not, killing it from 3 like you see some perimeter players. He's not bad, but when you're touted as the next Kevin Durant, you kind of have higher expectations. Right now, he's kind of closer to a bigger, better shooting Rudy Gay, and that's not bad, but he's nothing crazy. Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, and 2 kids that have spent 4 years in college. Those are the players that have come out and have just killed it. Kuzma just dropping 37 the other night in overtime against the Spurs. Very, very unique talent. Now, that's the dip-off when you have players that come that spend all 4 years of college. They're higher to their ceiling when they come out, and they're ready, but what you see is what you get for the most part. And there are a few exceptions, Tim Duncan being one of them, who only got better and better despite spending all 4 years of college. But for the most part, especially late in the first round, when you draft first-round talent that spent 4 years in college, okay, they're going to be more ready, more polished when it comes to play, but their ceiling is not that much higher. There's not a whole lot more room for growth. Still, very, very solid players. And it's not bad to use those pieces for AD. I mean, you could do worse. But let's break down who the Celtics have. They have Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I believe they have Sacramento's pick in the future for this upcoming draft, unless it becomes the number 1 overall pick, which is very difficult. It's basically their pick from spots number 2 and down. I believe they have a Memphis pick down the line and whatever they have in their arsenal. They have a litany of picks. Terry Rozier is another guy, even though he's going to be off his contract next year. He's a very good young point guard. And let's break down those players. Jason Tatum. Most of you know what this kid is about. He might be a top 3 player, top 2 player, and eventually probably vying for Kyrie Irving for the top player on Boston Celtics. Very, very special player. Jaylen Brown, maybe a few notches below, but still a very good defender, can drive and score, can shoot from 3, and they both have playoff experience. And they've both been to the conference finals. Took the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James to 7 games. That's special. That experience is highly valued. Or if they really need to make the the contracts match with AD, well, they still have Gordon Hayward. But why would they trade Gordon Hayward? He hasn't even played a full season, right? He played 5 minutes last year, snapped his leg, and he was out, right? And now he's finally back. Why would they trade him? Well, let me ask you this. What team had a player whose sibling died in a car accident, and then the player played the next day in the playoffs, and they traded him before the season started the following year? That'd be the Boston Celtics with Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas's sister died in a nasty car accident, and he plays the next day in Boston and then kills it, sacrifices his body, and eventually ends up getting hurt. And not only did they trade him before that season started, they traded him for the point guard that knocked him out that season, for Kyrie Irving. That was the rival team, and they made that trade happen. Business is business. You could say what you want, but at least they've shown that history that, yeah, they'll make that trade. They're the same team that traded for Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and then traded Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. Oh, Ray Allen left to Miami, but also Paul Pierce. They let go of Paul Pierce, traded him to Brooklyn Nets for all those picks back in the day. They're not afraid to make these trades. Danny Ainge doesn't really care about how it looks. He will trade you if it's the best move for him. And hey, if you got to trade Gordon Hayward and Jaylen Brown and then all the picks in the world, go for it. You do that. You do that today. You do that right now. I think the only person I wouldn't trade right now is Jason Tatum for just 2 reasons. Very high potential. You don't know just how good. This kid might be a top 5 player in no time. And he's on a controlled rookie contract. He hasn't hit that big extension yet. You have a controlled contract that's not crazy. You're more likely to trade Kyrie if you think he might fly off to New York. Or you can trade Gordon Hayward or a combination with Al Horford. You have a lot of options there. Now the question is, depending on who they trade for, how does he fit? Anthony Davis does it all. He shoots the ball well. He can play power forward and center. He can average you 35, 10, and 5 assists and a handful of steals and rebounds. The guy's a top 3 prospect for MVP. You'll make him fit. Even if you're not sure if he fits, do what Houston does. Don't worry about the fit. Just go get the best player anyway. It worked pretty well for them. Or you can stay the course. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You can keep Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, and you can see how as Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum get older, how do they fit in that system. Right now they're struggling because you have a whole lot of good players. Like I said before, their 5th best player is Horford. So they're figuring out shot selection. Their point guard isn't a playmaker by nature. He's a shot. He just gets his own shot, Kyrie Irving. And they're trying to figure it out. I think if they trade a Gordon Hayward or Kyrie Irving or Jaylen Brown, a combination of whatever cap filler you need, I think taking a few of those guys away and bringing in Anthony Davis, it helps mitigate where those shots are going. I think you have a bit more control. Okay, now it might just be Anthony Davis, Kyrie, and then whoever is left, right? I think you can run a better system with that. I would really only go this route, as of right now, if it seems dangerously close that LA is going to make a deal for him. Because you got to ask yourself, do you let that deal happen? Do you let LeBron James get an MVP candidate on his team with another max free agency spot for next year? I wouldn't. Why would you let another superpower take its place? Because you already got Golden State to worry about, especially if KD resigns, and then you're gonna have to let LeBron James, keep get Anthony Davis and possibly sign DeMarcus Cousins or who knows who else they can sign in free agency. As of right now, Celtics should just stay the course. But once they start hearing those rumors, once they start getting those calls saying, "Hey, AD's available," go all in for him. Don't even think about it. Go all in, and let's bring back this Boston Celtics-Lakers rivalry. As always, this is the Get Real podcast. Leave comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think they should do. Thanks for listening.